The QAnon conspiracy? Yes, we're going to talk about it tonight on the Report from Tiger Mountain. Tonight on the Report from Tiger Mountain, we're going to talk about the QAnon conspiracy. So it's a fascinating topic. So basically the QAnon conspiracy kind of almost came out of the Pizzagate conspiracy. And I remember when Pizzagate broke, which was very fascinating. It came basically from the John Podesta emails that were released by Julian Assange. And, they were released and basically, I'm not sure if it happened pre-election, but pretty soon after the election, people began to notice very strange things in the John Podesta emails. And they began to notice possible use of code words and things like this that could possibly be connected to a kind of pedophile kind of, network or something. And people were kind of very perplexed by this, and and there was this whole kind of movement quickly began to coalesce online, where people began to examine aspects of John Podesta. And obviously there were many weird things about John Podesta. For example, Andrew Breitbart had called out John Podesta and said that he had a lot of skeletons in the closet in relation to this kind of topic, and then he died a week later. So, it's a very kind of, mysterious kind of topic that it seems like the elite definitely wanted hushed up and shut up. But then it also came, kind of spiraled into the agenda in relation to Me Too, and in relation to Harvey Weinstein and all the kind of sexual abuse that's been going on in Hollywood. People like Kevin Spacey, people like Woody Allen, Roman Polanski, and also the whole thing with Jeffrey Epstein, which was still a kind of rumor and almost a conspiracy theory. Jeffrey Epstein had this island, and he had all these underage girls, and the world's elite were going there. This was at the time of Pizzagate, when it first broke, that Jeffrey Epstein even seemed a conspiracy. But Jeffrey Epstein broke and was arrested, and then obviously died in custody a few weeks later. And it went from conspiracy, conspiracy theory to conspiracy fact. And then people began to think, well, maybe there's something to this kind of John Podesta thing as well. So this QAnon conspiracy began to kind of grow out of all that kind of nexus of ideas, really, that Donald Trump was secretly taking down basically the cabal. And I was always kind of sympathetic to it. And Q himself was somebody within, supposedly, he was somebody within the Donald Trump basically cabinet or office, who had Q level clearance, and he was releasing secret kind of messages to the general public about what Donald Trump was up to, that he was secretly taking down this aspect of the deep state, that he was secretly going after this level of human trafficking, that he was secretly going after Hillary Clinton and Obama and all this stuff. And some of it seemed to have legs, in the sense that it seemed like Donald Trump legitimately was doing things like that. Obviously, there were catchphrases like the calm before the storm, and Donald Trump did say a phrase like that. So it did seem to have some connection to reality. So I was kind of fond of it. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily, I believed every aspect of Q, but every, say, month I would check in with a guy called Praying Medic, who was a kind of guy and he's still someone worth checking out, actually, and he does really good Q videos. So check out a guy called Praying Medic, and once a month go check it out, and he does these interesting reports of what Q is up to and what Q is hinting is coming down the pipeline, and some of these things do actually happen. But I've noticed of late, there's a few people online, and I won't say who they are because I think these people are basically good intention, but they have taken QAnon in an area it's so strange. They say that basically half of Hollywood has already been arrested and executed, and that Trump has basically already executed most of these pedophile criminals and deep state criminals, people like Clapper and stuff. And not only that, he's replaced them with clones or something like this. It's gone off into a kind of area that's like science fiction. And to me, this feels like the cabal itself has infiltrated QAnon and is now filling it with nonsense. For example, the flat earth theory I've always thought is a nonsense because the world is round. Obviously you look at the moon, that's round, the sun is round. If you look through a telescope, you can see Mars, it's round. The earth is round. I'm sorry to report to people who believe the flat earth theory. But, it seemed to me like someone was ladling on disinformation and misinformation on top of the QAnon conspiracy to make it sound ridiculous. And I've noticed that of late, there's this kind of idea of a great solar flash and a thing called 5D. I don't even know what any of these things are. And I'm someone who sort of follows conspiracy theories to some extent. But it seems like someone is definitely ladling on disinformation and misinformation onto the QAnon conspiracy. So I would say if you're a fan of conspiracy theories, watch out for bullshit, okay? Because there can be just as much bullshit in conspiracy theories as there can be in mainstream news. You've got to have a good bullshit detector to look at mainstream news, and you've got to have a good bullshit detector to watch conspiracy theories. So that's all I really wanted to say, that the QAnon conspiracy is interesting. Maybe there's some meat on its bones, so to speak. Maybe there is something to Pizzagate and stuff. So that all should be investigated by the right authorities. But, the idea that, like all these vast kind of like people are being replaced by clones and that some people are dead. The royal family apparently is dead and being replaced by clones. I mean, it's absolute nonsense, this kind of aspect of the QAnon conspiracy. And you should be very wary of it and very wary of spreading it on Facebook because it looks ridiculous. It looks like you're mentally insane and you don't want to do that. You need to be able to sort the wheat from the chaff, the fact from the fiction, in everything, whether it be mainstream news and conspiracy theories. And that's all I wanted to say on the report from Tiger Mountain about QAnon. Thanks for listening.